The victim was bleeding heavily from his back and stab wounds. He had multiple stab wounds on his back, 14 total on his back, and then which required, it looks like 20 staples.
And we're about to watch the Utah parole hearing for this woman who stabbed this man back in 2021 over 10 times, given a 10-year sentence, actually 15. Her EOS is 2036, but up for parole just a few years later. It's always important to remember that sentences, especially in the state of Utah, really mean nothing. Now, I'll let you know the parole board's decision at the end of the hearing.
This is the time and place set for an original hearing for Patricia Montoya, inmate 205369. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Kathleen. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing today. Because I'll be taking testimony from you, I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me so I can place you under oath. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have you received 7 days notice of this hearing along with your blue packet?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a chance to review that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions on it?
I did at first because I was just a little confused about where the 1 to 10 comes in. Because I thought it was for the weapons charge, but then it went a little bit more into depth as I kept turning the pages.
Okay, so you got it figured out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it looks like you got the 1 to 10 for the aggravated assault and then the 0 to 5 for the possession of a dangerous weapon, and those are consecutive, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I plan on doing is going over your current committing offenses, and then we'll see what you've been up to, okay?
Okay.
So in case 211-910-112, you were convicted of a 3rd-degree felony aggravated assault and a 3rd-degree felony possession or use of a dangerous weapon. This occurred around July 24th, 2021, where officers were dispatched to a fight in progress at the 7-Eleven. Police detained you as well as the co-defendant. Officers handcuffed the defendant, and police saw a knife covered in blood sticking out of her pocket. Police removed the knife and a saw-like instrument from her person. The defendant was also in possession of a glass pipe and baggie. It states here that the victim's shirt, shoes, left side of his shirt, shoes, and had spots on his hands, were covered in blood. And then he also had paraphernalia on his person. This is kind of a confusing report. So if you don't understand something, just ask me. It looks like this individual that the victim was bleeding heavily from his back and stab wounds. He had multiple stab wounds on his back, 14 total on his back, and then which required, it looks like 20 staples. There was video surveillance of this where the individual, it looks like the individual you were with is the one who assaulted the victim. Is that correct? And repeatedly stabbed the victim?
No, ma'am.
Tell me what happened.
I was the one who assaulted the victim.
Okay. So tell me what happened that day.
That day, we had been drinking and using, and we got into a fist fight, and the fist fight accelerated from there to me feeling like I needed to defend myself. And I made a poor decision, poor choice,
Okay.
and I assaulted the victim.
How did the other individual play into this?
He was there, and he didn't like really stop it, but he didn't get too involved. He just said, "Don't put your hands on her,"
Okay.
like, because he was physically hitting me.
What were you guys using?
Alcohol and methamphetamine
How long you been using meth?
since I was 15 years old, off and on.
Okay. How'd you get involved in it?
I tried it at a party.
Um, so it looks like the board had set this, what they do, their smart scheduling, where you had a potential hearing date and then they moved it with conditions for you to complete prior to this hearing date. And some of those conditions that they wanted you to complete was substance abuse treatment as well as MRT. And you completed the Elevate program, correct, back in 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what you've completed since you've been here and what you've learned in those programs since you've been here.
Okay. Well, with me, I brought certificates.
Okay.
This certificate shows that I completed the Elevate program.
And I do have that listed as being in there.
Okay, and while in the Elevate program, I have completed a course of Beyond Violence Prevention Program for Criminally Involved Women. I have a certificate for that, and I've also completed relapse prevention, and I have a certificate for that.
When did you complete Elevate?
Um, October 9th of 2023.
Okay.
Then I also have a certificate for completing MRT and a certificate for completing CBI SUA. And I have a certificate for completing CPT, which is cognitive processing therapy.
Okay.
And I have a certificate for seeking safety. And I've also have a certificate for a forklift operator training.
Okay. And they can make copies of those and then they'll email them to me as well. The officers can, so then they can give them back to you.
Okay.
Um, Tell me what you learned in those programs.
Okay. I learned skills to help me to be successful. And by being successful, which is to complete what I'm required and gain the support back of my family and to maintain long-term sobriety and to help me make better choices.
Prior to coming to prison, was there a period of time where you were sober? Or
No.
was it pretty consistent since the age of 15?
Oh, yes, there was a period of time. There's been a couple periods of times.
Okay, what's the longest?
4.5, 5 years.
Okay, was that outside of incarceration then?
Yes.
Okay. What was going on during those times?
In 2012, I had maintained sobriety for 4.5 years, along with help from House of Hope.
Okay,
And in 2020, I had help from Odyssey House. Graduated from Odyssey House.
what have you been able to identify as your triggers?
Unhealthy relationships,
Okay,
poor choices, putting myself in unhealthy environments.
okay. I showed that you don't have any disciplinaries. Is that still accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. Tell me what you feel like for you has changed the most since being here that's gonna help you not come back.
I feel like the skills that I've gained from the program, along with the knowledge from graduating high school, I just barely graduated high school also, it's gonna help me to stay sober, the support of gaining the support and trust of my family back. I feel like it's gonna help me.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like the board to know at this point or feel like the board needs to know?
I would just like the board to know that I've been working really hard on myself to make sure that I make better choices from here on out and that I'm not that same person.
Okay.
I'm a better woman. I've gained skills and knowledge, and with the support of my family, I hope that I can maintain sobriety, long-term sobriety, and make better choices. I really regret what happened. I'm sorry, and I can't change it, but move forward and better myself so that it never happens again.
Well, ma'am, what I plan on doing is taking the information we discussed, compiling that into a report and submitting that to the board. The board is the one who makes the final decision in your case. They're made up of 5 members and it takes a majority vote for them to make that decision.
And the board made their decision, and the board granted parole 6/14/2024. Again, this hearing happened 5/30/2024. So she was paroled just like that. Now, keep in mind, she stabbed someone 14 times. She was given a 15-year sentence, and 3 years into that sentence, she gets paroled. And this wasn't her first trip to the rodeo. She has such a long arrest record that it's actually, you know, it's a little bit mind-boggling, really, to see that someone can so quickly get paroled. This is an original hearing. This isn't a rehearing. She didn't get, okay, come back, or the reason that they gave was the board considered your program completion positive progress, good behavior, and that's why you can get the early release. Her full term release date was 2036. So hey, you got to say that's imagine that you stab someone 14 times. I'm sure she's facing attempted murder, life in prison, blah blah blah. Put just a few years and you're out. And you might say, okay, good for her. I mean, look, as of 2025, I can't see any other arrests on her record. I don't see that she's been arrested in jail. Sometimes you got to do really thorough search if it's a minor arrest, if it's petty theft. I might not be able to so readily pull it up. I'm not tapping into Sir Richard for this hearing. He's going through stuff, and as you know, Lady Holly is going through stuff as well. So I'm on my own. So I don't do the deep dives that they do, but I don't see her anywhere here. Now, when you pull up her arrest record, I got to tell you, it's just. Let me show. I'll give you a screen share. Picture speaks 1,000 words, right? And this is to give you an example of how long she's been in and out. Now, in this case, they don't show pictures. Oftentimes they do. In this case, for some reason, they don't. But as you can see, 27/22/2016, 12/11/2016, 3/23/17, 6/24/17, 1/4/18, 4/7/18, 1/3/20. These are all arrests. These all represents arrests starting from the age of 26 up until the last arrest, 8/25/2021 at 31. And so it's like a clear pattern. And the judge let her out, little sentence here, little sentence there, and then finally she stabbed someone 14 times, given a 15-year sentence, and out on parole 3 years into the sentence. You think that's a good thing? You think it's a bad thing? you know, it's like you could say, well, she seemed remorseful, she seemed they don't ask enough questions to really know. If this is a Louisiana hearing, I think we'd get more of it. What she said really that stuck out to me is what everybody says. She says, I am sorry. No, I regret what happened. I can't change it. It didn't happen. It's I regret what I did. I regret my actions. I feel remorseful to my victim who was stabbed 14 times, who had to have those staples. Who knows what complications and physical trauma and whatnot occurred from that. There was no of that empathy, connection, remorse, nothing. And like, if you stab someone 14 times, you would be so grateful they didn't. I don't know. That's just me. Call it. That's just me. What am I? My empathy, it, it goes for the victim first. What, I don't know. What do I know? Hopefully she is done. Hopefully this is a wake up call for her. Hopefully we don't see her again. But always keep in mind, in the state of Utah, sentencing, it's a gimmick. 15 years is not 15 years, because the way that it works is it's a 10-year sentence, minimum of 1 year. And then they give a 5-year sentence, run consecutive 15 years. Wow. But the minimum is 1 year. Always remember that. And with that, I'll
I
let you go.
really regret what happened. I'm sorry and I can't change it, but move forward and better myself so that it never happens again.